All right, Scott Pullins, what's going on, brother?
Hey, well, I'm here today to represent Larry Householder and friends of Larry Householder. There are a total of 4 Elections Commission's complaints that were filed back in 20 that are finally getting some hearings now.
So, I, it's not looking good for our boy Larry, right? How's he? I guess how's he doing, first of all?
He's doing pretty well. I mean,
How's
he is in federal prison, and it's not a great situation.
Yeah.
But he's he's doing pretty well there. He's exercising. He's losing weight.
Yeah, I figured we're going to see like Slim. Like that's going to be a sight, Slim Larry.
Yeah. I mean, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
But he lost some serious weight even in the Butler County Jail. He's exercising. Frankly, he's meeting and talking to a lot of people there. He's bringing people together.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's going to be running the place then.
Pretty soon, probably.
Man, we should get an FX show or like an HBO show about that, you know? Cause I sent him a letter. I assume he's not going to respond until after his appeals are exhausted. I want to write the Larry Householder tell-all book.
Yeah.
Because he's got, I know other people would do it, but I figure, just 2 Ohio hogs like us, we could make, I'd give him all the money. I don't even need the money.
Yeah.
I feel he's got a story to tell.
Oh, yeah.
So these elections, I mean, I heard one of the arguments. The other lawyer was like, basically, RICO has nothing to do with Ohio election law. Like, is that going to be the defense? Like,
well, that's going to be part of it. I mean, if you look at the complaint, frankly, Secretary of State kind of did a little dirty thing here on the complaint.
Frank LaRose's team? That doesn't sound like it. That doesn't sound like Frank LaRose.
I know, it's shocking. But
what was the complaint?
So what he did was he just took the 80-some page affidavit from the federal indictment and attached it, and then cut and pasted pretty much every statute on campaign finance violations you can think of, and put it on another page, and then shipped it over to the commission and said, hey, here's our referral.
Yeah, so that's pretty lazy then.
Yeah, it was lazy. It was sloppy.
Because you've seen the reporting that's going on with his office. I guess that office is in hell right now.
Yeah.
So, so do you think like it's going to try? It's going to go to a full trial in front of the committee then?
It's going to go to a full hearing. The other thing in which I'm more specifically interested in is the attorney fee issue. So, the Secretary of State, or the Assistant AG said the facts are clear. Well, the facts aren't really clear, and the law's not clear either.
Yeah.
They're relying, well, let me start back. So there is no specific prohibition in state law against using campaign funds for an office holder to defend against criminal conduct. None at all.
The Airbud defense.
Yeah. Personal use is not defined well under state law, and they're relying upon a advisory opinion from 1996. And the case law on this goes back to Tom Ferguson. I don't know if you knew who that was, but he was the last Democrat state auditor that was charged with some campaign finance violations
surprise.
At the state level. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I've done research-wise is look at what does federal law say. This was a federal indictment, and the Federal Elections Commission has dealt with this, and Congress has dealt with this. And they use a simple test. And the test is, would these charges or convictions occur or not, irrespective of the office holder's status? So what that means is, if you're a member of Congress or a candidate and you get arrested for felony drunk driving or murder or drug abuse or whatever the crime is, well, those things could happen even whether you're a member of Congress or not. But in cases where they're accused of bribery, racketeering, or campaign finance violations, federal law permits federal campaign funds to be used to defend in those cases. So that's going to be our principal argument here.
What could be the penalty for that? I mean, he's already, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they can put him in prison for, another 10, like what?
And this is the stupid part too. So let's say they find a violation. First, they'd have to refer to a prosecutor. we're probably past statute of limitations. It's a misdemeanor 1 with a maximum $1,000 fine, 6 months in jail.
When you're already doing.
Yeah, he's already doing 20 years. So this case is really about state officials getting some political cover.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the fact that every one of these office holders are associated with 501c4 organizations.
Yeah.
They're all associated with super PACs, and they're trying to get some political cover here.
Do you think Neil Clark killing himself in Mike DeWine for governor shirt, was that a coincidence?
That was not a coincidence at all.
No?
No, he was sending a message.
Yeah. So, and the message being that, like, DeWine is...
His message was DeWine was dirty, and he was leading the effort on this. And, you know, if you read his book, I mean, I've read his book a good 10 times probably, and knew him pretty well. He proffered lots of information on other state officials, and federal government was not interested.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Because that was the... Because that's the big question. Everybody was like, you know, why didn't Larry flip? Da 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 da. And I was, you know, my thinking was that, well, I mean, he must not have had anything, or like he tried because, like, I mean, HB6, like, I remember when I was just a young buck, you know, on the street before I really got into his, really started. Larry Householder was not the kingpin in this operation.
Oh, not even close.
I mean, it goes all the way to DeWine. It goes. I mean, Husted especially. Do you think there's going to be any more arrests in the case?
You know, the statute of limitations is ticking away.
Yeah. What is the statute of limitations?
Well,
I think you did RICO. You were on the hook for a while.
RICO is actually a 4-year statute of limitations.
Okay.
So depending on where they're calculated from, it could have already run. You know, because you know, this ballot issue campaign, it ended October of 2019.
Yeah.
I mean, we're past that. Even assuming, let's say, it goes up to July of 2020, you hit July 2024, the statute of limitations is run.
Man, because I mean, I assume Randazzo's screwed. That's what I would have thought. Chuck Jones especially. And it seems to be that Mike Dowling guy is the one to watch, because if they get him, he seems to be a bridge to a lot of it.
Yeah.
Are you worried about because you're running for State House right now? Are you worried about your opponent, like, making hay of this? Like, hey.
Oh, yeah, I think, you know, I've been friends with Larry Householder since 1997.
Okay.
So I've got a long history with him.
Yeah.
You know, I like the guy as a personal friend. I've been family's personal attorney. You know, there's nothing I can do to not get tarred with that brush.
Yeah.
And, you know, what I tell people is I'm loyal to my clients. I'm loyal to my friends.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes bad things happen to your friends. Sometimes your friends do bad things. I'm still loyal to them. That's just how I am.
Yeah. Well, man, good luck. Because you're sporting the Stevens team. Then,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Huffman's just. I call him the Prince of Darkness.
You know, most people don't know, but I'm a very pro-labor Republican.
Yeah, I saw you liking some of the tweets about the UAW. Champagne.
Yeah. I mean, my grandfather was a lifelong Carpenters Union member.
Okay.
My stepfather was a lifelong Carpenters Union member. You know, I grew up as a kid in the local chapter of the Eagles in the Carpenter Hall. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, my grandfather was the most conservative Republican I knew. I feel like labor is our people.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in labor halls. It's not, pink-haired social justice warriors.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I'm a pro-labor Republican. You know, you look in my district, just 15 minutes east of my house and my office is a huge labor training facility right there in Knox County. They do a great job, and I'm going to support my constituents. I'm going to support people that agree with us.
Because people don't realize all this construction going on around here.
Yeah.
It's all people from Eastern Ohio, people from like Southern Ohio coming up here. Like it's like the construction trade around here is dominated by those types.
Oh yeah. And union membership and that means better safety requirements, better benefits, and better pay. And those folks live right here in this community. When you see these right-to-work states, they're bringing in people from out of state. They're not hiring local people.
Do you think Huffman would try that?
I think he would.
You think he would? Because I tell people, man, if Huffman comes back, like if they were worried about Larry Householder, if Huffman comes back in the House with McCauley in the Senate,
it's going to be bad. Yeah.
So. You didn't run like a bug, brother, so I appreciate that. You said you won, you didn't. Is there anything else you want the Patriots Caucus to know about you, or you could check you out on social media?
Yeah, definitely check me out on social media or scottpullins.org. I would say, and I'm going to have to get you some materials on this, but there was a Federal Elections Commission investigation that's recently become public, and it went after and looked at Ryan Smith and Cliff Rosenberger and Virginia Reagan and those folks on the 501c4 organizations that they set up in 2018.
Okay.
And I can tell you, and the records are there, everything that Larry Householder was accused of and convicted of, Ryan Smith and Cliff Rosenberger did it in spades.
Yeah. Do you think it was a case? What have you heard anything what's going on with that Rosenberger case?
Nothing's going on.
Nothing, because I mean, it hasn't been like. I haven't even heard that there's like been a no prosecution agreement. Like,
well, I've heard from the attorney. I know the attorney said that that they're not charging and they think the statute of limitations is run, etc. But I'm telling you, everything that Larry was accused and convicted of, they did.
Do you think it was a case of like him winning and him being in power? And
Because
because I figured it was like. Because I remember running for a campaign office, seeing all these energy companies, the Boyches and stuff coming together. Like, it's not like they're just handing that money out.
Right.
But the FBI, like, it was Neil Clark.
Right. Right.
If Neil Clark, had been maybe 10% less corrupt, so do you think it was just like a case of him just being in power at the time, and since Ryan went away?
The first time I read the indictment, I thought two things. One is this is DOJ's backdoor attempt to overturn Citizens United.
Yeah. Are you a Citizens United supporter, I take it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And second, this is DOJ picking a side in a political dispute. Like I said, Ryan Smith, Cliff Rosenberger, they all had 501c4 organizations.
Yeah.
You'll see from that report, I'll send you materials on it, they laundered money through multiple 501c4s, eventually to a super PAC. They did all those things that the federal government says is money laundering and corruption. I mean, Dave Yost has super PACs and C4s connected to him. Frank LaRose does. The former president of the Senate did. The governor does.
That's why I don't like the Citizens United, because it just lets these corporations and all these rich people just come in and pollute our system. I mean, Householder was right in the sense that it is Ohio politics.
Right.
Like this is Ohio politics. That's how it's functioning.
Right.
But it's kind of like it's almost like. Just because it's normal doesn't make it legal.
Right, and I think there's an answer to the problem.
Yeah.
It may not be one you think of, but you look at states like Virginia. In the state of Virginia, anyone, individual or corporation, can make as big of a donation. Well, individual, corporation, or labor union can make as big of a donation to candidate as they want. It's publicly disclosed. They have to report it.